Each year, thousands of Alabamians journey to Montgomery to view Alabama's beautiful state capitol. Montgomery was not the first site of the state capitol. However, the state capitol was moved to Montgomery in 1847. The first Capitol building in Montgomery burned and was rebuilt by 1851. Major changes were made to the building in 1885 when the East Wing was added to house the Supreme Court and Supreme Court Library. The South and North Wings were added between 1905 and 1911, completing the present shape of the building. The beautiful marble steps leading to the Capitol came from Gant's Quarry in Sylacauga, Alabama. The marvelous old Capitol is located at the end of Dexter Avenue on Goat Hill. The architecture of the Capitol building is a type of Corinthian classified as Tower of the Winds. With the white dome dominating the blue southern sky, the building's stately facade is embellished by 6 towering Corinthian columns. The structure was designed by Philadelphian George Nichols and is fashioned after the United States Capitol. Remnants of many historic events may be found here on the Capitol grounds. Jefferson Davis stood on this spot February 18, 1861. Massive, richly carved doors, little halls that make the past seem like yesterday. Beyond the broad marble steps and heavy doors, the lofty Capitol rotunda rises 3 stories and is crowned by the immense dome. Twin cantilevered stairways curl upward to the 3rd floor, seemingly suspended in air. Only the perfect balance of one wooden step upon another supports the flights. The stairs were designed by Stephen Button. As we move into the lobby, we are greeted by a statue of the late Governor Lurleen Wallace. Governor Lurleen was Alabama's first lady governor. Although she only served 2 years, in those 2 years, she captured the hearts of all Alabamians. Governor Lurleen died of cancer in 1968. The walls of the wings of the 1st floor of the Capitol are filled with portraits of the governors of Alabama. The office of the governor is located at the end of the North Wing. Governor Wallace discusses the role of the governor in state government.
The role of the governor is the chief executive of Alabama. He is charged with the faithful execution of the laws passed by the legislature of the state, and administers those laws. You know, the governor is elected by the people. The governor can now, under the Constitution of Alabama, be elected for 2 consecutive terms. I am serving on my 2nd consecutive term, although I served another term as governor back beginning in 1963, ended in 1967. The governor recommends to the legislature of the state, if he has anything to recommend, such as the passage of laws in the field of crime, highways, mental health. The governor also has the right to veto a bill passed by the legislature of Alabama. If that veto is sustained, that is, it's not overridden by a majority vote of the legislature, then it does not become the law. If they override the governor's veto, then it becomes law whether the governor wants it to become law or not. The governor also appoints cabinet officials working in the various areas of government over which the governor has, you might say, exclusive control, other than, of course, the providing of money the providing of money is done by the legislature of the state. You see, we have three separate branches of government: the legislative, the executive, and the judicial. I am the chief of the executive branch of the government. The Senate and House of Representatives make up the legislative branch, and the courts, including the Supreme Court, make up, of course, the judiciary of Alabama. And the judiciary of Alabama interprets the laws. Now, I appoint cabinet officers when I became governor. A highway director that looks after the building of highways. A state police executive who handles the state police in Alabama. The insurance department that regulates and controls insurance companies. The banking department that makes and determines policies regarding banks and gives charters for the beginning of new banks. The Department of Consumer Affairs that looks after the consumers of Alabama. The Department of Traffic Safety that's concerned with safe measures on the highways of our state in order to prevent deaths and accidents. We also have, of course, the Pensions and Securities Department, which is a department that handles help and aid to the aged, the blind, the elderly, and the crippled, and those who need help from the people through the government, which is, of course, a strong function of government. The governor also appoints various board members to serve on boards like the prison board. The prison board is not directly, prisons of Alabama, not directly under the governor, but the governor does appoint the board. The governor does not serve on that board, but he appoints the board. He also appoints boards, the mental health board that looks after those who are mentally ill in Alabama. Those are some of the functions of government. Another cabinet position is that of conservation director that handles the state parks of Alabama and the seasons involving hunting and fishing and our wildlife and our streams. We also are indirectly involved in the state health department, which of course is not directly under the governor, but is under a state board of health. The Department of Education is not directly under the governor because the State Board of Education is elected, and then they elect the State Superintendent of Education. But the governor is required each year to write a budget, to set out in budget form and submit to the legislature certain requests to run all of these various functions of government, including health, education, and help to the aged and blind, the courts, and for the police, and other functions of government. Those are the main functions of your governor, acting as the chief executive of Alabama.
As we leave the governor's office and return to the first floor lobby, the next stop on our tour is the second floor. The House of Representatives and the Senate chambers are located on the second floor. The Alabama legislature is a bicameral body. The House of Representatives has 105 members chosen by districts. On January 7, 1861, the Secessionist Convention met in the House of Representatives chamber, and on January the 11th, voted Alabama out of the Union. The historic chamber remains essentially the same as it was on that decisive day. All state constitutions, except the first one, have been written in this chamber. The Senate chamber is located across the lobby. There are 35 senators in the Alabama Senate. The lieutenant governor is the presiding officer of the Senate. The inside of the Capitol dome may be viewed on the third floor. The dome is ornamented with 8 large murals depicting major events in Alabama's dramatic history. The brilliant canvases, each 13 feet high and 11 feet wide, were painted through the years 1927 to 1930 by the renowned artist Roderick McKenzie. If we return to the first floor and view the portraits hanging on the wall of the south wing, we come to the south wing exit. As we step out of the south wing door, we are greeted by the avenue of flags. Every state is represented in this beautiful mall. For the bicentennial year, Alabama's replica of the Liberty Bell was positioned in the center of Alabama's avenue of flags. There are many interesting things to see on the grounds of the Capitol. The Confederate monument stands on the north lawn of the Capitol. Soaring above the trees, the monument pays tall tribute to the heroic men and steadfast women of the South. Sculpted in marble, life-size figures of Confederate soldiers and seamen guard the four corners of the monument. One of the tallest statues in Alabama, the completed monument was unveiled December 7, 1898. It was designed by Gorda C. Dowd, a Montgomery artist, and executed by Alexander Doyle. The building housing the Department of Public Safety is located in close view of the Capitol. Most of the public safety building is occupied by the state troopers. A museum of the history and progress of the Department of Public Safety has been established in the lobby of this building. If we move on around the complex, the next member of the group is the Department of Archives and History. This building is the depository for the basic documents of our state heritage. Constructed in 1940, the Archives building is a living monument to Mrs. Marie Bankhead Owens. The story is told that she went to Washington asking for funds to construct the building and was asked to give two reasons why Alabama should get money instead of other states. She answered, "I have one brother who is Speaker of the House and one who is the ranking senator from Alabama." She was then asked where she wanted her building. The Archives and History building has 4 floors. The basement of the building serves as storage and reference area for papers, letters, books, newspapers, and other important documents. The documents are available to anyone doing research or simply interested in the past. While Jefferson Davis served as the President of the Confederacy, he lived in what is now called the first White House of the Confederacy. Registered as a national landmark, the house has been authentically restored and furnished with furniture belonging to the Davis family or of the same period. The Highway building is located across from the Little White House and behind the Capitol. This building houses the administrative and many of the testing offices of the Highway Department. Charged with construction, maintenance, and administration of all state and federal highways and many county road systems, this is one of our most vital services. Other offices are located in the Highway building. The Bureau of Publicity and Information and the Physical Fitness Commission are 2 of the state offices located here. At the other end of a long parking lot reserved for legislators and cabinet officials, we find the Administrative building. This building houses many of the administrative offices of state government. The Industrial Relations building is located on the north side of the Capitol. This building houses the Industrial Relations Department. The State Office building stands to the right of the Capitol. This building was constructed in 1952. The Education Department and the Health Department occupy most of the office space in this building. The Public Service Commission is also located here. The Supreme Court building is located across Decatur Street from the State Office building on Dexter. The State Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court hear cases in this building. There are some state buildings located outside of the Capitol complex. The Agriculture and Industries building is the largest state building outside the complex. This building houses offices and laboratory space for the Department of Agriculture and Industries. Although it has no permanent tenants, this building probably houses more people in a year's time than any other state building. The Coliseum is operated by the Agriculture and Industries Department. Many outstanding cultural, entertainment, and sporting events have been held in this building. The Rice Simple Hart House on Union and Monroe has recently been restored. The house was constructed in the 1850s. The Alabama Historical Commission is located on the second floor of this building. The Lurleen B. Wallace Museum occupies the bottom floor of the building. We hope you have enjoyed your visual trip to this cherished legacy and that you will explore Alabama State Capitol in person.